Who would have ever thought the QIA would turn its facilities over to the naked bookseller? That's only a beginning. If I cut my hair a bit, it's amazing how much I would look so much more like all of you. I have 2 trophies in the past year, both of which I have not been aware I was even competing against the possibility of becoming what became. I'll explain. First of all, the most recent of which is the Section D, Explore Arizona section of the Arizona Republic a week ago Saturday, quirky quartzsite. And as you read the article, which continues all over the back page, it's really not so much about quartzsite, but it had a lot to say about reality. You see, he starts out by informing all of Arizona that it indeed was cold for a little itty-bitty bit of our winter. And we did see a little bit of snow. And so he decided, since he was going to do a feature story on the trails in the Martinez Lake region south of Quartzsite, he would come to Quartzsite and see not snow on the saguaros, but, as he puts it here, I stopped at Reader's Oasis Books in Quartzsite to find that the naked bookstore guy wasn't naked. He was wearing a shirt. I have inadvertently become the living barometer of when it's cold in Quartzsite. The other trophy, I can't believe what was once I thought just a quicked-off remark in my store would become reality. But I take a lot of pictures with these women and all, but not so many alone with a male photographer. This fellow told me he does cover pictures for a journal, and maybe my picture would show up as one of his covers someday. So he says, do you mind if I take a picture of your face? Well, I couldn't believe it. I got a call from Germany. Snowbirds come from everywhere, but he happened to have been a visitor once around here. And he explained that I was on the cover of his monthly issue of a very, very high muckety-muck journal. Well, lo and behold, I have lived long enough to finally become another pretty face in the right place at the right time. Yeah, but it blew me away because this is the journal doctors and nurses and people who deal professionally with geriatrics. That's us, you know, when we're not here in Quartzsite. This is their journal, and they said something really nice about the whole thing here. I didn't have an article about me. I was just, like I say, another pretty face. It said, cover photograph. Paul Weiner is a musician who was part of the scene.
Hello, where do you get the pretty face?
I'm not surprised you doubt the veracity of my statements, but you see, Ralph, you're looking at an angle where it's really difficult to ascertain my face, and from his point of view, this is what he sees. It says here, I'm a musician who was part of the scene in the 60s and 70s. He now runs the Reader's Oasis bookstore in Quartzsite, Arizona, where he welcomes aging snowbirders from all over the US and Canada. His stage name is Sweet, and he still rocks his audience with boogie-woogie piano. I guess I'm going to send that applause on to him. because it probably took chutzpah. There's other words for the same damn things to do that. I'm just so grateful. Who would have ever thought Sweet Pie, after a 25-year career playing to over 1.5 million people in blue-collar worker nightclubs, colleges, ski resorts, and beach resorts all over the East Coast and coast to coast through Canada for 25 years, would ever live long enough doing what he did naked in bar rooms to begin with to ever be a senior citizen. That's why I feel blessed. At 72, I'm still able to do what I did 42 years ago. I think it's better, but that's because I'm so prejudiced still being able to do it at this age. You know, if you do something long enough, steady enough, after a while, people either grow to like it or to learn to live with it. I think in a nutshell, that's the story of my many lives. I'm going to start out with a tune. We're going to play a lot more music this year than in previous years because I want to celebrate the reunion of my old schoolhood best friend, Will Peroni. He's now old Willie Boy. Kind of a reminder of where I'm getting to be. Together, we played this kind of music as kids. So what we do on stage is just so natural to us. You're in our home, sitting in our living room. We're having a ball, and even better, you're here to share it with us. To begin with, let me introduce over here Ralph Martin, who's spent the better part of 30 years almost playing music as part of the quartzsite winter music scene, and beforehand had a whole career as a union musician. He had a band. His instrument of note, though, was the one-string wash-tub bass. And this man is so good at what he does, it makes my music better, not only for me, but for all of you too. I'm enjoying being able to share time on stage with a musician capable of making my music better. And that's what I like so much about having Ralph behind me. Anything he does behind my back, I don't know. This is an absolute relationship of trust between neighbors. And Ralph is the most married man in the U.S. I forget how many, dozens and dozens of married, how many?
56.
56 times this man has been married.
No wonder you have no money.
To the same woman. And he tells me sometimes more than once in a day. Can you imagine having a hot dog for a honeymoon? Ralph, I feel blessed to be with you, pal. And we'll start out together. This is a song I used to sing in my old cabaret days as Sweet Pie. And I'm going to perhaps borrow one or two of you in order to make the song seem more real. This is a song called Don't Rock the Boat. I'm cruising this woman. Oh, you really look swell. Hey, I know. She's your girl, sir, I can tell. Will I ever get a chance, or is this just all a song and dance? I say don't rock the boat, or the boat won't float. Hey, let's all shake hands. Yeah, you all come in a stranger now, please act like friends. All right, Ralph. sniffing poontang perfume. Ain't heard that in a long time. Want you paint your face a bit? Sure know how to make good of it. Will I ever get my chance? Or is it all the song and dance? I say don't rock the boat, or the boat won't float. Ooh, let's shake hands. You come on in here, stranger, now, please act like a friend. You folks must have been in almost every show I did. Almost. They're the garlic brothers from the Seamless Rainbow Garden Spaghetti Dinner. It's great to play on a stage where you recognize the people in the front row. It's an odd couple, but then again, times have changed. There's an awful lot of blondes in the audience. I never thought I would attract a house that's more than 50% platinum blonde. Yeah, and you know, look at him too. You figure if it's good for them, it's good for you. Why not? Me, I'm just an old nudist who runs a bookstore now. In the 25 years I was sweet pie, that's 1.5 million people watched this guy naked. And then, much to a few people's surprise, the same guy went on stage with his old chum, who you'll meet in a minute. It wasn't Ralph. He wasn't going to do that show with me because I was going to be naked. That was the first time Quartzsite ever got to see a sweet pie show because we live streamed it from the theater in New York City. I played downtown Manhattan at the same theater Hair used to perform in. Standing room only and an ovation. It was 92 and 93 degrees every day I was in New York City. To me, it was 15 degrees cooler than when I got on the airplane in Phoenix. So I was feeling great. I walked around New York City just like I run my bookstore. People from all over the world were taking pictures of me thinking I was part of what Times Square means about New York City to the world. I posed with a cop in each arm. Now, I got to admit, I did see officers occasionally talk to their caller, or actually hold a handheld device and obviously phoning about me because I kept looking up. And they never so once has bothered me because in 1971, I won in federal court and became the line of the law for free speech, verbally and physically. The American Civil Liberties Union was my attorney, and one of the things I wanted to do in New York was thank the naked cowboy for using the freedom I fought for. And we had a great meeting together, right there on the streets. I was more naked than him. I told him that's why we had so little in common. I said I would never be caught dead outside on the streets in my underpants. I want to introduce next to the stage a really, 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 really close and good friend. Although most of our adult life, we were in pursuits apart from each other. But we grew up as kids playing the music you're going to hear and sharing on stage tonight. He and I met in junior high school, Pickering Junior High School. He met on the day I suffered my second greatest defeat in my personal musical budding career back then as a young child interested in music because I loved Fats Domino. Now, what happened in junior high school was tragic because I was disqualified from what was a sure win in the talent show. And it was a compulsory talent show. Not meaning you had to perform, but if you were in school that day, you had to go. So the whole school assembled in the auditorium, and one by one the acts came and did their thing. And then it came to Paul Weiner, 9th grade. We'll play piano solo, Tammy. Then a popular tune by Debbie Reynolds, I hear the cottonwoods whispering above. She was in love. Me, even program said that didn't matter. I just learned how to play Since I Met You Baby by Ivory Joe Hunter. And I played it, and I was disqualified from the competition and disqualified from the show for not following the program. Story of my life. I should have seen the warning signs anyhow, and never entered anything like a talent show because in the 3rd grade I suffered my greatest defeat in an effort to be great at music. And that's when you used to point your finger at the notes on the book in front of you and follow the teacher and go, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Remember? Well, back then I wasn't as skilled as I am now. And consequently, I was asked to lip sync the words because my monotone was throwing the whole class off. To my surprise, I outlived 25 years naked in bars playing boogie-woogie and blues to people who would often get a little too happy to remember really where they were. I came through unscathed, thank God, and my next show here at the QIA after tonight will be January 30th. Saturday afternoon and Saturday night, January 30th, right in the big fist peak of it all. I want to introduce my old friend, Old Willie Boy, Will Peroni from Salem, Massachusetts, where he left snow 8 feet high on both sides of it. Salem, Massachusetts. My old buddy, Will Peroni. Hey, here. Yeah, there you go. It's dramatic, but it's not original. Despite having been sweet pie, when I was 8 years old and normal, I went to see the Barnum and Bailey Circus. And the greatest clown I think ever lived, Emmett Kelly, the true Joey, so to speak, a real true Joey. He started at one end of the 3-ring circus with a customer holding onto his glove and backed his way through 3 rings of circus all the way to the other side, and darn if the thing didn't just let loose as he fell in the lap of a surprise patron. That's been in my show ever since I've been sweet pie and found a woman willing to sew a bunch of sheep together to sort of pay my homage to the spirit of where clowning with something good comes from. This is a tune I'll dedicate it to all the snowbirds. This is my snowbird song. It's a rewrite of a song I've been writing and singing for perhaps 60 years. This was my road song a million years ago with Sweet Pie when it meant a lonely man alone on the road. And now it's a happy shuffle boogie song because this old man has identified with so many other people my age. I just feel so privileged to still be alive with you. This is called I'm Headed Home. I call my home. I live on the highway. Hey, I made an RV my home. I got an easy life. Hello, goodbyes, and I'm gone. I smile for miles. Hey, I'll be a friend. I smile for miles. Hey, I'm a friend to the end. And if the old cookies crumble, we'll just live off crumbs again. It's a long old highway, the roads I call home. It's a long highway, okay, I made it, I'll be my home. Easy life, hey, hello, hello, goodbyes, and I'm gone. Take it on, Willie Boy. I've been in your hometown. Hey, that's where I bought me new shoes. Yeah. I've been in your hometown. That's where I bought me new shoes. Ain't nothing like new shoes. Helps you kick the blues. I live on the highway. All the roads I roam. Hey, I live on the highway. Made an RV my home. Someday I'll take the exit marked heaven, 'cause I'm headed home. And that's where perhaps 35% of the snowbirds who would still be here are now. That's the difference. And this is a year where it really started to show. And even more so, I think, last year. But 35% less snowbirds in the whole country. The World War II generation that created the lifestyle are now in their reward. So I dedicate the spirit of that song to them too, because I know somewhere down the line there's that road for us as well. I hope by then it'll be a road you're happy to take. That would make a difference in how it would be good to go. I want to sing a song that I share in every show because it is indeed my blues. All my life I did a career singing blues that I've absorbed from other people. I'll give you an example. Let's do Kansas City. Song I never learned, you just absorb it, you know? I'm going to Kansas City, Kansas, here I come. I'm going to Kansas City, Kansas, here I come. They got the crazy women there, and I wanna meet me one. Stand on the corner, 12th Street and Vine. Yeah! Stand on the corner, 12th Street and Vine. I'll drink good cold liquor, and I'll drown in wine. I'm going to Kansas, Kansas, here I come. I'm going to Kansas. Here I come. They got the crazy women there. I wanna be the one. Oh. I'll take a plane, I'll take a train. If I got a hitch, I'm gonna get there the same. Kansas City, Kansas, here I come. They got the crazy women there, and I wanna meet you one. Oh, no. Like I was saying, my real blues came when I lost my sweet daughter. That's blues. No, maybe being born black is a similar sort of blues. It's one I never knew. I just love the music that came from it. But now I hit a blues no matter how happy I could be at any given time. That blues would still be part of the source of the energy I felt in my heart. And rather than think of it as pain, it took years to write a song that would give me my flow to joy. And that's what blues are supposed to do, be your flow to joy. And I learned to live with the beautiful pride and pleasure of having been that wonderful girl's dad. The memories that were so good are so strong, they somehow, they don't push the pain aside. They just double its worth for the time it takes to feel this flow of joy. Your real blues expressed, let out so the world can hear the sound of someone happier than they were just a moment ago. That's blues. That's my compulsion to perform is to share this song. Hello, Celia. The song I wrote to help my blues over the loss of my daughter and my wife's very bestest friend. For her, the loss was even greater in ways only a woman knows. For me, it's the strength of every moment of joy I had is because I learned real joy with her. New day with my memory of you. I start each new day with my memory of you. I say hello, Celia, honey. What are we gonna do? Oh, maybe play all day, just like we used to do. Maybe take a walk in the woods, hit those wildflowers too. Honey, I smile when I'm missing you. I say hello, Celia, hello, hello, hello. I start each new day with my memory of you. I say, hello, Celia, honey, you are my blues. I say, hello, Celia, honey, you make me happy too. I say, hello, Celia, hello, hello, hello. Say hello, Celia, hello, hello, hello. I say hello, Celia, honey, honey, honey. I love you so. I say hello, Celia. Hello, hello, hello. I say hello, Celia. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Celia, honey. I love you so. I feel so naked without my pouch. I mean, you know, times have changed. Years ago, you saw a guy acting anything like this. He became the immediate reason why you didn't like walking down the streets of big cities where you were just a visitor. No one knew you were there, and who would care? Nowadays, you see a guy going like this. Hell, he don't look weird, not if he has a dead old cell phone out of the trash can. He looks normal. What an amazing difference going on. People actually dealing with the real world with one hand because the other hand is holding a $400 instrument. I mean, so precious, my gosh. And they text instead of write. They text instead of talk. They text instead of being with each other, just gabbing a bit. I mean, and to do it meaningfully and get enough words into so small a space, they need to abbreviate. And because of that, whole words are getting lost to the new generation. Like earlier I used the word poontang. I mean, even in its abbreviated form, it doesn't have the panache of what your great-grandfather used behind the back gate. And oh my gosh, have non-profit organizations suffered because of this abbreviation in texting. For instance, orgasm, a perfectly common word, abbreviated becomes ORG, and every non-profit corporation in the country starts getting vicious emails. I still take the chance of snapping my nose in my shell-style cell phone, which I still haven't mastered, but I've learned wallpapering. And there's a picture of me in case I lose it. I've taken one selfie in my life, and that was to identify my phone as mine. Well, let's boogie a bit. Let's start kicking it. This is a song called Sleeping All Alone in My Lover's... Yes, sir. Oh, yes, I forgot. I have another performer with us. Now, equally important, it's just he's 85 and I'm letting him rest out part of the second show for a moment or two. Come on up here, Jerry Mullins. Jerry Mullins has been one of the core figures of the music scene in Quartzsite for almost 30 winters. He's been in countless bands and been featured in countless jams and plays with countless bands, and has shared his love of music with people here as just part of what made Quartzsite unique. And 10 years ago, he started in on me. Paul, come on up here and join us for a tune. Well, I told him, you play country and western, I don't. And I told him other things like that. And 10 years, twice a year, that's 20 good excuses, and still kept his friendship. He was the longest nagger I've ever endured in my life, and the best man about it, because part of his constant drive to get me out of my reticence to perform was what brought me to the stage. Well, the first show I did in Quartzsite was here at the QIA. Hell, 800 people came to see what I looked like in clothing. They had no idea what I was going to do. I mean, they knew I played a little piano. They had no idea what I was up to. And there's Ralph on stage with me, Ralph over here, Jerry Mullins over there. And we performed a night those people still talk about and remember. That show is the DVD. The entire 2.5-hour extemporaneous, absolutely impromptu experience of that concert is on that video. We're hoping through tonight's video with Todd here that we'll be able to get plenty of footage from the real show to make another video, and we can sell that and share, and let these musicians share in a little gold mine without having to dig and break your back and work an extra few bucks from something called royalty. Because they are royalty in my mind. These three men truly changed my music so much for me. I was excited for this day for weeks because it changes every way I play the music that's grown so familiar to me. Hell, my song's different. That's Boogie. This is called Sleeping All Alone in My Lover's Bed. This is a song Willie and I used to play back as Sweet Pie. I've changed the words a little so that the ribald tune will be a little more appropriate. I like it better this way anyways, because this is the way I play it now. This is called Sleeping All Alone in My Lover's Bed, and it's a good rule of advice to a lot of drifting guys, you know. Viagra had the combination of Viagra and a pickup truck that really works well. This is sleeping all alone in my lover's bed. I mean, if she has to be away, there's one safe place to be. Boogie! Some folks call me a train. The same nosy people call my woman a fan. She's away this week, trying to make some bread, doing any old thing to keep a poor man fed. Hey, 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 hey. Trouble can't get to me when I sleep alone in my lover's bed. I say, please come home. I feel kind of tired making love all alone. She said a few more days, things will be all right, fine. Lonely hearts cry in their jug of wine. Hey, 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 hey. Trouble can't get to me when I sleep alone in my lover's bed. All right. Get up here. All right, Ralph. I read her magazines, I read most her books, kiss my dreams goodnight and miss the boogie she cooks. Went long as it takes for what keeps me a man, till then a bird in the bush is worth two of the land. Hey, 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 hey. Trouble can't get to me when I sleep alone in my lover's bed. Now some girls made a pass, I survived the itch. I feel kind of bad and mad, I don't know which. I drunk myself to death, but look, I'm still alive. I'm too much in love, I'm too young to die. Hey, 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 hey. Trouble can't get to me when I sleep alone in my lover's bed. Hey. I feel a little like Kenny Rogers. This vest, you see, I'm a nudist, and my hobby all my life, I've been naked 55 years in public. 55 years in public, and lo and behold, what hobby would I have buying used clothing in yard sales where it's really cheap, because you're not going to wear it very often? Come on, it makes sense. Well, to tell you the truth, I have a lot of clothes, and I discovered tonight, when I had an occasion to wear something, I opened my closet, couldn't decide what to wear, just like you. I brought everything I could think of, all of which was bought here in yard sales in Quartzsite. This vest was 25 cents at Little Al's Acre, oh, maybe 14, 15 years ago. Made in USA, it's good forever. I wanted to put on my cowboy shirt. I know. You don't think this is a cowboy shirt. I'm telling you it is. This is contemporary custom Western wear, near as I can tell, and I'll give you my evidence right up. You see, I was at the Prescott Valley swap meet as Paul Weiner, not then known as the Naked Bookseller, because I was in someone else's hometown. So I just wore little shorts. And lo and behold, guy across the aisle from me sets up two of these easy ups and puts in clothes racks, and within moments has emptied a 10-wheel truck. Hundreds and hundreds of these Western shirts, all on hangers. Your choice, $2. I watched, and he sold hundreds of shirts. Even I bought one. And except for me, I was the only person who bought a shirt that was not wearing cowboy boots and a cowboy hat. I don't care if it was rodeo week in Prescott, that didn't matter. This is contemporary Western wear. It sort of confuses you a bit because I look so normal from here up. There we go. Now you tell me, 200 more pounds, wouldn't I look a little like Dan Walker? We're going to do a song I'm not going to sing. This is a song my good pal and great friend Jerry Mullins, who, by the way, will be appearing as Jerry and Friends, an original gathering of his lifelong musical friends to play at Celia's Rainbow Gardens for the free lunch and dance and party in the town park on March 15th, high noon. So you can go to church and thank God and then come and enjoy it. We have a wonderful time. They feed 500 to 600 people. And it's an all-you-can-eat burger and hot dogs and salads galore and my wife's famous coleslaw. And boy, am I glad when that event is over and our little trailer becomes a home again instead of a food factory. But it's a wonderful time and we urge you to come and celebrate Celia's Rainbow Gardens. A commitment to remembering those we want to associate with quartzsite, named for my daughter and so well developed by so many good volunteers. Oh yes, I transgressed, but for worthwhile cause. The other one is the 16-piece Jimmy Dorsey Orchestra with the vocalist, doing the traditional, authorized, original Jimmy Dorsey arrangements to some of the greatest big band jazz music in the world. 16 pieces, not on this stage, but a stage they've already constructed the parts of that will fill, it will almost triple the size of the stage to accommodate the full orchestra and show. There'll be a dance floor and seating for the concert. And it's a show, how many times in your lifetime is something that great coming to quartzsite? Me, I'm playing a show the next day at 1:30 in the afternoon in the same hall, probably up front on the same giant stage. And I'm playing in the shadow of what will be one of the greatest entertainment events in quartzsite's history. So think about getting a ticket. It's assigned seating, they have a chart, they actually show you where you're going to sit, and the dance floor. Oh, this is going to be a beautiful event. My show comes the next day, sort of a chaser, and then I'll be playing in the park along with Jerry and Ralph and all the friends at Celia's Gardens. So let's play music. This is, huh? Yes, yes. You know, your short-term memory is by far much better than mine. Well, that's why I choose to celebrate how wonderful age is, because long-term memory is so vivid, so real, that whenever you forget what you're talking about, all you've got to do is keep talking about something different, and it will amaze whoever was suddenly confused while listening to you. It's one of those conundrums. You can try and figure it out all your life, but basically what I'm saying is sound advice. It works. For example, if you're looking for miracles, why bedevil your life in a quest to see a miracle when all you've got to do is understand that there is a miracle so close and so obvious to each one of us that to not notice it would in itself be a miracle. I mean, honestly, think about it. No matter who you are, tall, short, fat, thin, mean, happy, nice, cold, black, white, brown, confused, don't matter what. No matter what. Everybody on this earth, each one of us, in ourself only, is absolute, complete, total miracle. We are the perfect, without doubt, absolutely no dispute. We are the perfect example of what is so true to perfection, when it comes comfortably to finally agreeing to be the wonderful, total success each one of us in ourselves is. We would not have made this song if it wasn't to prove that point. Yes, the last of the smooth generations, taking our teeth out at night with pride. We're smooth as those dreams roll on. I was going to have Jerry sing the song, now that he's caught his breath.
Now I'm kind of depressed. But I'm here for a very special reason. I'm their token country guy.
That's why I dressed up.
Did you want me to do a song, Paul?
Yes, I do, just to prove you're more than a token.
Well,
Hell, you're a silver dollar of it.
I know 2 songs. One of them's awfully simple and the other one is simply awful. So, whichever one comes out is hard to tell. This song that I'd like to try to do, a friend of mine wrote probably about 25 years ago. He was a great musician, loved RVing. We spent a lot of time out on the desert together. And most everyone that has spent time out there or is spending time out on the desert with RVs has used one of those little blue tanks we call the Blue Boy. And he wrote this song about the Blue Boy. And too bad he's not around to sing it because he done a much better job than I do. But anyway, that's what it's all about. It's what we call the little Blue Boy Blues. I got the Blue Boy Blues from pulling that blue boy around. I got the Blue Boy Blues from pulling that blue boy around. I got the Blue Boy Blues 'cause we don't live in town. Well, I hooked up my rig, it's a little blue thing. The hose slipped off, sprayed all over my jeans. I got the Blue Boy Blues from pulling that blue boy around. I got the Blue Boy Blues 'cause we don't live in town. I got some on the tires, some on the ground. My face turned red and my sneakers turned brown. I got the Blue Boy Blues, pulling that blue boy around. I got the Blue Boy Blues 'cause we don't live in town. Well, the day I got sick, my wife took my place. Came back from the dump with a look on her face. She had the Blue Boy Blues, pulling that blue boy around. She had the Blue Boy Blues 'cause we don't live in town. You know that?
I love some more. Let's just do the harmonica list of this old tune. Jerry Mulligan.
He mentioned the party out at the park on March the 14th, 15th, March the 15th. We'll be playing for about an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 30 minutes so with a little group I put together. We can dance. We're waiting for them to get ready for the dinner. And we'll be able to, I've got some 4 great musicians. Some of them I played with them for 20 years here at Quartzsite. So come out and do a little dancing with us while we're waiting for them to get all set up for dinner. And then Paul will also be playing out that day.
All right, we're going to finish up with the tune so we can all take what's called that important pee break. We made the biggest human cue in the history of the world in Guinness Book, but this is for the most commonplace pee break. Just before the big cue. And then there'll be another show to go with a lot more music. We have a lot more tunes we want to be sure to get on the video and to share with you. We're going to finish with a song that I'll think of his name in a minute, but Hoochie J. McShann and his band played it. It was Jimmy Witherspoon sang it in the 40s. Prices getting steeper, money getting cheaper. I mean, it makes so much sense as a song. I can't believe it wasn't rewritten today. This is a song called Prices Getting Steeper, and it's a good old-fashioned mid-40s boogie-woogie. Money getting cheaper. I had a wife, I couldn't afford to keep her. The times tougher than tough. Oh yeah, things rougher than rough. I can't save no money. I just keep spending the stuff. I went to get the pork chops. I thought I'd get a pound. Could buy 1 chop with all my money down. Tougher than tough. The pit things are rougher than rough. I can't save no money, just keep spending the stuff. All right. Telling people, cut down on your meat. Hey, cut the price, let the people eat. Times tougher than tough. Things rougher than rough. I can't save no money, I just keep spending the stuff. Will Peroni, Old Gray Boy, Jerry Mullins, and Ralph Martin, and Joanne Simpson. I'll be back in about 15 minutes, so hang in. Naval Veterans Thrift Store in Prescott, Arizona. Thrift, T-R-I-F-T. That's because it's all volunteer run, and the naval veteran who volunteered to paint the sign couldn't spell worth a damn. And they hung that sign for years. And he finally passed on, and with his final military salute, they also repainted the sign and spelt it the same way. You know, like respect, when nobody's looking for it, and it shows. All right. So I'm proud to wear this dollar jacket. I'm proud also to be performing in the 50th anniversary year of the greatest non-profit, all-volunteer-run organization in this whole area, and that's the QIA, Quartzsite Improvement Association. They have done more in the last few years to become more things to more people with more different interests than ever before, and I'm impressed. Even when it was announced, much to our distress, that 2/3 of the American population was obese, the QIA widened their door to the dining room. Built a brand new double door. Now that's accommodating in a way you least expect it to be. And if people do slim down eventually, well then they can have two-way traffic in and out. Now, we're just going to start playing a little music here. I want to tell you a story about being in New York in September. Will and I, we went down and did a concert at the Public Theater, Joe's Pub, they call it. Of course, people sitting there, $44 a seat to see us. But I was totally naked, if that's any advantage. The people in Quartzsite discovered on their TV screens I was this big. That's the first time Quartzsite ever heard or saw a sweet pie show. Very different than Paul Reiner and his friends. It's an adult comedy performance of blues and boogie, but there's a lot of songs in that show that I've never sung here. In fact, according to Rolling Stone, I am the very source of what is perhaps the most popular slang expression in the English language today. I won't tell you it, and I won't really spell out the bad part. I'll just give you a hint. F them if they can't take a joke. Ever hear anybody say that? That used to be the title of my sing-along Boogie-woogie anthem. I used to get every audience singing it on cue. And it became part of their lexicon, I guess. Bette Midler popularized it by, she heard someone at Brown University say it. And she made it a punchline in one of her skits that was in that stage show that toured America for 2 years, sold out, and then around the world, and made her a diva. Well, in an interview with Rolling Stone, she was saying she was surprised parts of her show were still in American pop culture. Jan Wenner, the publisher, asked her what, and she said, well, F them if they can't take a joke, it's from my show. And he explained, no, Bette, you would have been too young to have remembered a naked boogie-woogie piano player named Sweet Pie who sang that as his anthem. And other songs that Quartzsite got to hear. These were the big songs in my show. I played to 1.5 million people stark naked in blue-collar nightclubs, beach resorts, ski resorts, and colleges for 25 years naked. Coast to coast through Canada, north and south, in every province but Labrador, because it's so cold there, and you know what happens to your family jewels. I didn't want to choke to death. Not to do a naked show. Other song titles, there were songs like Ragtime Wet Dreams, Too Drunk to Ball. The working class folks, they really understood that song. I was not a blues poet with any finesse, but I played to the people and survived 25 years in bars naked. Nobody who knew me then ever thought I would live to be a senior citizen. Boy, am I glad I did, because now I blend in really with most of you. And you know, together, it's much better than just being lonesome as a one-of-a-kind. It's better to be one-of-a-kind among friends who put up with you. Funny, when I'm naked in the store, nobody asks me ever, what do you think, Paul? Put a pair of pants on and wow, I can't believe what I have to say. This is a song for all the big women. This is a song for the big women who can hear me, see? A song to help big women feel good. Yeah, if you happen to be a big woman taking up a little more space in this world than you think you should, eat your heart out, honey, because this is a song for big women. Help them feel good. It's called Big Woman Boogie Blues. Now, the reason it's a blues is men. Big women are easy to understand. They want a man all the time. A man, well, if he ever gets lazy, you know how it is. He just wants a big woman some of the time. That's why Big Woman Blues is not just Big Woman Boogie, see, because it always includes the men. And what I have found out in my lifelong quest from woman to find somehow an answer to love that would heal my heart, I found out one thing. If you use the right position, somehow every shape of man can love every shape of woman. Yes, it's a sure thing. It's like camping and fishing in the shade for a week. Get down in the bush. Canadians can understand what I mean, but then again, they have a lot of appreciation of beaver too. I totally forgot where I was. That's okay. Let's do this. Song for big woman. All right, boys? I know a real big woman. She got a lot of sweet patty cake. Look at that girl, I know a real big woman. Head color patty cake. She got a great big oven and men love the cookies she baked. Folks call her Tootsie Roll. She sugar every joint in town. Folks call her Tootsie Roll. She sugar every joint in town. Hey, when you get to the country, buy your candy by the pound. I wanna talk about her oven, feels so fresh and warm. I wanna talk about her oven, she brings cookies in from the farm. Too much baking changes you and puts sugar in your blue. With a big woman. Have you ever been kissed by a woman got 9 inches of lips? Yeah, she pucker her up, she go, mwah, and it splatter all over your face. You gotta wipe yourself on the pillowcase. That's when you know you're getting old. Not big, not big. She 5 feet tall. She 5 feet tall, 5 feet wide. She got a dress like a tent and puts a half a dozen guys inside. Hey! One more time. quartzsite for you. She's a two-sided baby, one side on the other side for you. Heads I win, and tails, yes, you're gonna sweet sugar blues. Years ago, I used to call it fat woman blues. No big woman liked it. It seems to have rejuvenated in a fresh energy, because now it celebrates women who've given up diets. It makes them feel good. I'm helping them feel better about themselves. I'm confident. And I'm such a skinny little guy, they take it seriously. This is Hoochie Coochie Man. Willie Dixon wrote the song for Muddy Waters. I grew up listening to it. Heard a lot of other singers do it too. They all tried to do what Muddy Waters did. And there's no way I could, not being from Stowell Plantation to begin with. I was such a prissy kid, Muddy Waters would be the last thing they would have called me. Maybe the Yellow Geyser, perhaps, for a year or so until I got control over myself, but never Muddy Waters. This is a song called Hoochie Coochie Man, and I do it the way I kind of grown into playing it over half a lifetime. It's not like Muddy Waters, it's more like a Willie Dixon song that Paul Weiner's playing because he sure likes it. I hope you do too. This is Hoochie Coochie Man. This is a song Will and I played even in junior high school. This goes back. I get sweaty. You know what trust it takes to have a guy with a stick that big sitting behind me? He's my old friend, and I keep an eye on him and trust you. Next thing you know, Jerry, they're going to come out and they're going to start a new advertising campaign for what's that product they call Viagra, the blue pill, to give men the strength to pull those blue boys around. Okay, this is Hoochie Coochie Man. You know, a gypsy woman told my mother, such a long, long time ago. She said, you got a boy child coming. He's gonna be a son again. jump, jump and shout. World's gonna know what this all about. That's my dear. Everybody knows that's just my dear. Yes, girl. I'm the hoochie coochie man. The hoochie coochie man. Bad as I am, that's who it is, baby. The hoochie coochie man. All right, Willie boy. You got a touch of the blues here. Ivory Joe was amazing. History will reckon with him because he broke through the color line musically long before Ray Charles created a black popular country music. It was Ivory Joe Hunter wrote These Arms of Mine, became a country classic. And he was the rhythm and blues artist who wrote Since I Met You Baby. We're going to do that song. You want to play it with me? Nope. You're going to play with me? Yeah, okay. the bottom won't fall out. And Jerry, you gonna play with me? Yeah, this is the song he listened to and decided, I want to meet that kid.
I was running the balcony light.
At the compulsory talent show assembly in the auditorium, junior high school. Boy, if I had won that and it had gone to my head, maybe I would have been famous by now. This is Since I Met You, Baby. Since I met you, baby, my life has changed. Since I met you, baby, my life has changed. Everybody tells me I'm not the same. I don't need nobody. Tell my troubles too. I don't need nobody. Tell all my troubles too. 'Cause since I met you, baby, all I need is you. Since I met you, baby, I'm a happy man. Since I met you, baby, I'm a happy man. And I'll try to please you in every way I can. I'll try to please you, baby, in every way I can. Let's try this off number. This is another song I've absorbed rather than learned. Did I do Kansas City tonight? Yeah. I did that earlier, yeah. Well, this is another absorption. When I was 9 years old, I got a birthday gift, among others, fortunately, of piano lessons. Mostly because my parents thought a big, beautiful Baldwin baby grand had sat silent long enough in the living room, and I was old enough to start learning how to play it. My lucky brother got tap dancing lessons. So I never made too much of an issue over it, because at least I got to sit down while I practiced, and he had to bounce all over the place. So what happened was, I was not a good student. I had trouble memorizing, and I really didn't give a damn about this classical stuff or this stepping up, stepping down, then a skip. Even with my mistake, it probably, you can recognize it better that way than by singing it. So for my 10th birthday, one of my gifts was to quit piano lessons, which I did. And I pursued a lifetime trying to be a Fats Domino and totally failed. and became absolutely perfect at becoming myself. And I have no regret. I'm enjoying what I do now more than I used to then because I had to do it for a living then. Now I do it for a pleasure. And part of what makes it a pleasure is there's just been enough people this time of year still to help defray the summer bank payments for a very, very quiet bookstore when it's 115 degrees. So I really thank you for your support because it's the shows I do that help support the bookstore. It's run now probably in deficit for 24 years. It's lucky. It's owned by a guy who's more concerned about having a lifestyle he wants than making a living. Any other business would have closed years ago for lack of what they call profit. By not having to profit but to survive, I'm not only familiar with the roots that all of us somehow have to in a lifetime deal with, but I'm not that far from it that I don't appreciate each day's grace. And thank you for being here tonight. This is a song that's what happens when you're a singer-songwriter. I made out a list of songs I wanted to do tonight, and I forgot it somewhere. It's not under there. But it really don't matter because I remember one of them. This is a song I wrote for the first real chili cook-offs in Quartzsite. It used to be called It's Chili and Quartzsite. Tony Carnevale from the Chamber of Commerce came up with that name for the chili cook-off. And I thought it was such a good name, I now share the songwriting credits with Tony Carnival for my song, It's Chili and Quartzsite. This is a little boogie. Put them in a pot. When it's chilly in Quartzsite, Arizona gets hot. Chilly, 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 birds going down, birds coming out. Yeah, it's chilly in Quartzsite, and that's what the boogie's all about. Now let's thank the cooks. You see, they're the core of it all. Glad they came, glad we stayed. Take a moment, thank God for the chilies he made. Chili, 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 birds going down, birds coming out. I say it's chilly in Quartzsite, that's what the boogie's all about. I ate so many chilies, I'm hot as hell and ain't dead. Chili, 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 birds going down, birds coming out. It's chilly in Quartzsite, and that's what the boogie's all about. There's going to be another chili cook-off coming up. The Rotary is sponsoring it, along with a Legends of Country Music concert. The Chili Cook-Off is involving the Cassie International Cook-Off people again. And it's sort of a revival of a great tradition that existed for a few years. They did not book me to sing the song about the other chili cook-off, but I like chili. I'll be there. What else did I want to say? Yeah, oh, I know, that's, all I have to do is start it. There's so many I'd like to do. Oh, no, I need that. Every day I have the blues. All right, let's move it now. Every day I have the blues. Every day I have the blues. When you see me worried, it's 'cause it's you I hate to lose. Nobody loves me, nobody seems to care. Yeah, nobody loves me, nobody seems to care. Speaking of bad luck and trouble, I've hit my share. Every day, I have the blues. Every day, I have the blues. You speak of bad luck and trouble, it's women, that's what I hate to lose. I'm packing up my suitcase, I'm moving down the line. Ain't nobody worried, ain't nobody crying. If I feel tomorrow like I feel today, if I feel tomorrow like I feel today, yeah, I'm gonna wake up in sunshine and thank God for another day. I'll make my way. I love my dad. 30 years my dad didn't talk to me. I know it's about that time. Just about. Yeah, this is a good one to get really close with, and then we'll just tag a little quick boogie on the end so you can applaud these guys. This is a song called I Love My Dad. 30 years my dad and I were estranged from each other because he offended himself over my being naked. I know, he finds it a little peculiar and funny too now. He's 97. My mom is 96, and he's her principal caregiver over there in Sun City at the Desert Winds, where I'll be on Thursday, and they'll be watching this show, thanks to my friend and photographer here, Todd, who, by the way, has a site on YouTube called Desert Artist. And if you go on there and punch in anything that says Sweet Pie or Sweet Pie 45 minutes, you're going to get some of the footage he had of me at the piano playing and singing some songs. My dad came to this show 2 years ago with my mother. There was about 800 people in the hall. They gave him a standing ovation spontaneously. The audience stood up and gave them an ovation when I introduced them after the song. It was a pleasure to sing it to my dad because it was the first time in my whole life he ever been at one of my shows. He missed my career because he was so stubborn. And I didn't provoke it. I stayed close with my mother, but I didn't provoke it with my dad. I wanted him someday to be proud of me, but I couldn't do it on his terms. It would be a false pride he would be enjoying, and it wouldn't satisfy me. So for 30 years, we were estranged. In fact, one time I came he woke up at 7 in the morning and I was sleeping on their living room couch in North Andover, Mass. And I was there because that morning at 8 o'clock I had to be in Boston at the Boston Garden to go streak the Boston Bruins. Bobby Orr gave me $100 to do this. He asked me how long it's been since I ice skated. I told him I was just a little kid. He says, well, your ankles won't bend in these because they're steel sides. And he put his skates on me. We were the same foot size. And I skated through the final practice session of the Boston Bruins before an ill-fated Stanley Cup playoff year. In that audience was Hockey Weiner, a distant, once removed relative, an uncle of sorts, who owned a taxi cab and gas station company in Malden, Massachusetts. He was a scoutmaster, and his entire scout troop was among the several hundred children and parents who were at that practice session at Boston Garden that morning. And about a month later, my dad happened to pull into Honky's gas station, where you could always get a free tank of gas, and was surprised when Honky said, I think I saw your son, Paul. Oh boy. And it took several years before my dad finally believed it was really true. Now we're as close as we could ever be, and rather than lament the years that passed between, we so enjoy each other's company now. I sang this song for him at the first show he ever saw me do 2 years ago. I changed the lyrics a little because he was here now. I didn't have to sing about his not being here. And I'm going to sing it in the presence of his having been here now, so I don't have to ever go back to the way one lyric originally was. It's a song called I Love My Dad, and I dedicate it to everybody who has ever found it so much easier to say I love you, Mom, and so difficult at times to say I love you, Dad. This could probably even be people older than me who still remember how hard it was for so many years until it became so right and so easy. This is my song, I Love My Dad. I love my dad more than he may ever know. I love my dad more than my song can show. I love my dad it's just hard to tell him so. I love the way he holds my mother tight. I love the way he always treats my mom so right. I love the smile he got for her each night. You know my dad, he's my mom's king. Hear me sing, I love my dad. Dad, thanks for everything. You know, I'm glad my dad was here one night. I said, enjoy the show, Dad. See, I'm doing all right. But you know dads, and you know how they can be. And still, they honestly help fill the world full of who? You and me. I love my dad. I love my dad. Seem to show. I love my dad more than he will ever know. I love my dad. But it's been hard telling him so. Sit down on the job. We want to thank you for the pleasure and privilege of sharing the fun together. That's the freedom to enjoy life in a wonderful country. Glad you're part of it. Glad to be here with you. One more. This is one of my favorite songs to sing. It's a good drinking song. I still like it. I was a happy drunk when I was a drunk. Unless I drank a little too much and someone pushed the wrong button and I went ballistic. Just like that. And that's why I probably saved my life so many times, because when a naked man goes ballistic right in front of your face, you back off. It was a good defense. But I used to sing happy drinking songs because most of the people paying for the booze that I got for free wanted to be happy. I haven't had a drink in most of my adult life. I was playing with a different Willie, a guy named Willie Maloney. I'm a simple musician, but everybody who plays harp with me has to have a rhyming last name. Well, Will Maloney, I blacked out on stage at Dr. Generosity's. Woke up in Vermont about a day and a half later, and the people who had driven all the way down from Vermont to see their favorite ski act in the Big Apple on the Upper East Side sat on me for 2 weeks. They actually imprisoned me, so to speak. They wouldn't let me out of their house, and they dragged me out. And then they played me a tape of one of my songs called If You See Kay, You Tell Her I Remember. It's a tender song, novelty lyric. They played it from 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and right there in New York when I passed out in the middle of it. And I've never had a drink since. Thank you. You know what made it easier? Is after 2 years, I started to feel better physically than I ever felt in my adult life. And that alone has kept me dry. Booze was my drug of choice, and I abused it badly. I'm lucky to be here. This is a good old time drinking song I wrote called One More Shot. And it's a boogie. I think we got the energy to still kick this. Hey, give me bourbon, rye, a vodka, scotch, rum, or gin. I don't want no water, I don't want to swim. Whiskey, brandy, booze, wine, or beer. Feeling good, that's why I'm here. Hey, bartender, one more shot. If problems got no answer, drinking hits the spot, oh yeah. My heartaches, put her with a wife. You'll get 100 reasons drinking saved my life. Taxes, kids in trouble, bills, teeth, and debts. Lots of living, drinking all the drinks we get. Hey, bartender, one more shot. The problem's got no answer, drinking is the spot, oh yeah. Some days too few. I'm hung up and down and over, and I'm hanging with you. Drink to stay alive, live to drink, loose enough to jive. I'm drunk enough to think. Hey, bartender, one more shot. No one's got no answer. Drinking hits the spot, oh yeah. I ain't no mom. Lonesome news, horny, hey, drinking makes me fun. I'll quit drinking if I love again. Till then I love drinking, thank God we got again. Hey, bartender, one more shot. Problems got no answer, drinking hits the spot. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Pleasure. Thank you, thank you, thank you.